What's going on, everybody? I'm Aslan Hajimani, joined by recruiting analyst for Warchant.com, the ultimate Seminoles sports source. Michael Langston. Use the promo code below. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, lower right corner next to Michael, and hit that thumbs up button. We certainly would appreciate it. It is Memorial Day Monday as you're watching this, listening to this Tuesday on the podcast. Michael Langston should be at a party, but Michael wants to talk about recruiting because that's the biggest party going on. Midnight Madness, this is a thing apparently, Michael. June 1st. We've been hearing about how big of a day this is going to be. I personally am not buying all into the hype here, but you're going to change my mind, I think. June 1st is a big deal.
Yeah, it's a big deal. This is kind of something they've been working on because, as you know, most schools are hosting kids in either, barbecues or some. I think Miami or Florida are both doing barbecues. And FSU's like, okay, dude, you want to do that? That's fine. We'll get something planned. We'll have a Midnight Madness. So they'll see our campus and everything in the campus before they see you guys, and we're going to do it right when they let us do it, like at midnight. So what's the song for the Beastie Boys, No Sleep Till Brooklyn? That's going to be me tonight because I'm not going to have any sleep till Brooklyn because I'm going to be up there.
No. Are you really going to go?
Yeah, I'm going to be up there. So I'm going to be up there so late. I'm going to get every guy. And then, guys, I'm telling you, there's some serious prospects. We'll go through that in a minute. But just one of those genius ideas as far as Norvell. I'm not trying to brag about these guys all the time, but it's like every time I look, they're doing something really smart and innovative. We saw that with the youth camps, which is a way to get in there with the young kids and the young families and the young coaches, and they go to the cities and they actually do their camps. And now they're doing this step where it's like, okay, you're going to open it up, fine. We'll do it at midnight. We'll host these kids at midnight. So they're going to do all the hosting like it's just a regular time. So these guys are going to be 3 a.m. Taking tour campus visits and seeing inside the program. I'm sure there's going to be some players there as well, hosting these kids. So just a genius idea. A lot of FSU commits are going to be up there. So I think it's definitely going to be exciting, and the buzz is just cranking up.
Can they treat these kids equally in terms of if they're a commit, if they're an official visit, if they're 2023? Like, can they do a group tour? Do we know how the logistics of this is all going to work, or are we just kind of just focusing on the bigger picture of the fact that they're bringing in all these kids on the absolute first second they're absolutely allowed to, which just shows their dedication, I suppose?
I would treat it more as like a junior day. That's how I would treat it. Basically, none of them is going to be official visits from what I can tell. All these are unofficial visits.
So now, that makes it easier then, right? Like if everybody's unofficial, they can just do everything like big group tour stuff kind of.
They can all do it in different groups, and they can. It's just like a junior day. You've been around the junior day. They just host the kids. They show them all the different things inside the program, give them tours on different carts flying everywhere, carts going up and down the more athletic center, stadium drive, or wherever they go, and just show them around FSU. And it's just basically, it's essentially going to be like a junior day because you didn't have a junior day this year. I think it's going to be just essentially like a junior day. Going to get hosts, get these kids on campus. You might even get some commits. I mean, when I talk about big names, I'm like some really big names. They're coming in town, and we'll talk about that in a few seconds. But I think it tells you a lot about how hard this staff works, how hard they understand recruiting. It isn't just like, everyone's seen the massive list that I put up on Warchant of all the guys that are going to be visited in June. Massive, just massive. And now we're looking at, I think, the list of guys that are going to be there on midnight. At midnight, one name that jumps out to me is Kevin Coleman, 5-star Kevin Coleman. He has never visited FSU. He's going to be there tonight, or I should say tomorrow, since it'll be a.m. But Kevin Coleman will be there. Jaleel Skinner will be there. I think that's a commit watch because I think there's a lot of trending excitement about FSU. Bishop Thomas, 4-star defensive tackle, he will also be there. And then the biggest surprise to me, which I thought Coleman was going to visit in June, but the biggest surprise to me, if you go scroll up to the running backs, is Javonte Barnes out of Las Vegas. He's visiting FSU. He's a Rivals 100 running back. He is probably one of the highest guys on their board. To get him on campus that early is massive for FSU. It's going to be a big deal. right there on the cusp of Rivals 100, but Rivals 250 running back. But he is massive to get a kid coming all the way from Las Vegas to get him on your campus right away, have several hours with him. I think that's a big deal. As people can see, this list is massive. Sam McCall, Travis Hunter, A.J. Duffy, and then there's several other 2023 targets that are on there. Some are committed, some aren't, but a lot of massive targets on there. It's going to be a fun night. A lot of big names, certainly as people can see, but it's just genius to get these guys immediately on camp. Kendrick Law is another one that he's going to take 2 visits. Another Rivals 100 guy, 2022 class. So there's probably like 3 or 4 just really major targets that it's a big deal. And now for people that are wondering, this has been orchestrated by FSU probably for, I would say, about a couple weeks. I was told not to say anything until FSU started tweeting about it. And then Norvell popped out a tweet today, said the countdown is on. He didn't say anything about the event, but he just said the countdown's on. So then once I did that, I already had some lists compiled. So I threw it together. And then there was a couple more that I just confirmed with guys that, hey, are you coming? And they're coming. So the list, that's how we came about the list. But most of I would say over half of those guys I had already had on that list. But this has been orchestrated for a while. Started hearing heavily about it, I would say about Wednesday or Thursday. So I think this thing has kind of been something that FSU wanted to concoct together because they knew these other places were going to have barbecues and stuff like that, where FSU wasn't going to have that, but they were going to have evaluations and camps. And obviously we got the big mega camp on June 6th. I think that's on a Sunday. So they had that, but they wanted to have something else too that's kind of a special event for commits and major targets that want to get there the first night, do something special for these guys and, make it exciting and kind of just fits Norvell's kind of procedure, what he does. He always seems to be a step ahead of doing something innovative.
It's going to be crazy just to think about kids walking around campus visiting at 1:34 a.m., on a Tuesday. And it's summer, so it won't be all that active around the campus. And then it's still 1:34 in the morning. But, yeah, it's I tell you what, they got to be pissing people off, but like in a good way if you're a Florida State fan. I mean, if you're a Florida State fan, you're happy about it. But I imagine all these other coach staffs are like, dude, like, you went 3-6, chill out, man.
You're killing it. You're killing it.
Yeah, so that's
the thing of what they're doing is they're just outworking people. I mean, you got to look at it that way, where they're making other tools work, and it's innovative, and it's something that I kind of thought about last week, and I'm like, no, they're not going to host guys at midnight, but I was just kind of like, something more I started hearing about. I'm like, yeah, I think they could do this, and it's just I think they're showing their dedication to where their vision is going in this product. And I think they know there's a lot of excitement about FSU, and they know they have to show it on the field. That's a guarantee. They have to show their product, but at the same time, they're showing just how aggressively these guys, these coaches are going to go after all these recruits, and they're not going to let up. And it also tells you how excited these kids are on being on FSU's campus. The fact that, 5 stars and Rivals 100 guys that are uncommitted, they want to go to FSU first immediately. That tells you kind of where their mindset is. Guys like Jaleel Skinner, Kevin Coleman, DeAndre Moore, Javante Barnes, all these guys are coming to FSU first. The first night they can be there. And to my knowledge, nobody's really doing this, what Norvell's doing with the midnight thing. So it's just, it's really smart, and it's going to keep me up. Obviously, I'm not going to do much sleeping that night because whatever guys I get up with, I'm probably going to be doing stories and updates throughout the early, mornings. It's almost like if you're a little kid and you have those little lock-ins that you have with friends and stuff, you go to church or something and you go to a lock-in and you spend the whole night somewhere. That's kind of what I would be doing, kind of a lock-in at Florida State University.
Hopefully he'll have some help. Hopefully the Austin will be out there. Hey, what about the big homie Kane Madden? Do we know anything on him? Will he be here June 1st?
Yes, he's supposed to be here June 1st. I was actually going to chime in on that. Kane Madden's going to be here June 1st. Who knows? He might show up at midnight. I don't know. I mean, he's not as a sprout as these other young guys, but he'll be here June 1st. So, he'll have an official visit, June 1st to the 2nd, or however long it lasts, 48 hours. And then Hopefully they can make a big impression on him. But yeah, he will definitely be here from what I've been told, June 1st. So that's another one, we'll be monitoring. So they're going to keep me busy. I'm practically going to live it at more athletic centers. They should probably just build me a tent or a condo or something by the practice fields or something, and I could sleep out there. But that's okay. We knew that. I knew this was kind of coming. I knew it was going to be really hectic and chaotic, and these guys haven't been able to visit anywhere for a year. So there's going to be prospects all over the country that just fly in, and there's going to be guys that we add just every single day and every other hour, Aslan, because so many guys have been itching to take these visits. So it's going to be the best word I can explain to this to people. 2 words is extremely chaotic is what it's going to be like with visits.
Are we expecting commitments, and not so much even in obviously Florida State, but just nationwide because this date is opening up, or is it simply just we haven't had this for so long, and that's what everybody's really excited for? Like, no one's really expecting a lot of commitments. Everyone's just expecting a lot of excitement because kids are finally going to be able to go to campuses and give guys like you better answers about where they want to go to college.
I think you'll have earlier commits. I think there'll be some guys that are visiting tonight that'll be on commit watch. I think I listed a few like Jaleel Skinner, Quavon Carter. He's at the bottom of our list. He's a defensive back we went to see at Lee County that I liked a lot that FSU offered. He's one of the 4 players I think they have, or 3 players now that have in Lee County. We know Quayshawn Sapp. We know Jaron Wilson. So you have him as well. So there are guys that are going to be on commit watch. I'm not going to guarantee they're going to commit, but they're on commit watch. And I think guys will commit earlier because recruits are going to be panicking about, okay, what if, although I don't think there's a very small chance it happens. A lot of kids are going to be like, what if they shut us down again? It's like that's why kids are taking visits so soon with June. And then I think the other dynamic is the NCAA portal makes you commit earlier because these schools are going to go after guys in the portal. They're going to go after guys that are there. And sometimes the guys in the portal are going to get presents over a high school kid. So if you get your spot, kids are going to want to lock up their spot quicker because of the dynamics of what the NCAA portal does, where, if I'm a coach, there's some places I'd rather have a guy that's a productive dude like Jermaine Johnson compared to a high school kid that I feel like's really talented, but I know what I'm getting Jermaine Johnson. He's a stud. So that's kind of the dynamics. I think the commits are it's going to be a higher volume of commits, but it's also going to be a higher volume of decommits. So, I think it's just going to be more of that because that's kind of the dynamics we're in now with the way the NCAA portal has just impacted high school recruiting, where you're not going to see guys like Keyshawn Helton that got onto FSU late in the process and just in there. You're probably going to go after guys that are in the portal because they're productive and you can trust them and you know what you got. So it's just a different dynamic for recruiting now with the portal in high school. So I think high school guys are going to commit earlier than probably we're even used to. I have never seen where kids are taking official visits in June. It's like, that's kind of ridiculous and crazy because usually it's like
during the season.
Yeah, during the season, you usually see in the fall, but it's like now all these guys are doing it, in the summer. Like, we even thought it was weird, like when we started seeing like kids officially visiting in August. Now it's like kids are officially visiting in June. It's like, what's next? Kids going to officially visit in February, like the day after signing day. It's like, so it's just getting earlier and earlier now because high school kids have to do this. Now, guys like Kevin Coleman, FSU's going to have a spot for you. But guys that are kind of on the edge where they're evaluating where they like you, how much they like you, they might like somebody else in the portal a little bit better. So you don't know how that impacts your spot, because the bottom line is you get 25 guys every year. So, and that combines portal and high school recruits. So it's a dynamic that's going to continue to increase, I think, across the board with high school and certainly the portal. But as of tonight, it's going to be, this is just kind of I think this is going to be a normal thing where we're going to see when open periods are there, so many kids they're going to get them immediately on campus. But But tonight's going to be wild, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of just weirdness as far as being on campus. I've never been on campus at FSU past midnight that I can remember, so it's going to be fun. And Cruton's officially kicks off at midnight tonight.
There you go. Stay connected to warchant.com. If you're listening to the podcast, there'll be updates surely in the wee hours of the morning waiting for you on warchant.com. If you're watching this video, I don't know, brew another pot of DeLuna coffee. Be ready. It's going to be a long night. Michael will have you covered, as well as probably Austin Cox. Who knows? Maybe even I'll get bullied and having to go out there and cover this stuff. But we'll have you covered front to end. That's the way we do it here on warchant.com. He's Michael. Thank you for the information. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Thank you for watching the video, everybody. Michael, have fun out there, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.